you have this thing called, you've heard me talk about it before, it's called the winner effect. Just say the word winner effect. So basically what it is imagine if you see a beautiful woman when you're out and you want to talk to her, but how if you don't feel good enough for her, how much do you shut down when you go talk to her? Like, no, but I'm not just talking as far as being able to flirt. I'm talking like literally the fact that you become mentally retarded. Okay? You become mentally retarded around a woman who intimidates you. Okay? Admit it, right? Like you can't even string together a sentence when a woman intimidates you. You're like, I mean, this is basically what you do. It's like, A, sit in the corner, do nothing. That's like what most people do. Then from there, maybe like at like a tier above that is you're like, and you do that, right? That's like a tier above. Then from there, if you can like, it's like, hi, what are you up to? You know, right? And then you can't do anything, right? That's why girls and guys are so creepy. Like guys are not creepy, but we're not any, guys and girls are about equally creepy. Like honestly, men are kind of creepy, women are kind of creepy, everyone's a little bit creepy, but we're about equally creepy. But because we look so stupid that we look crazy ass creepy. And that's for guys to even do some weird stuff. They're like, and then they'll just, and like some of them are just like, right? And they're like, whoa! And it's because like they're just so shut down they don't even know what to do. So the thing, but if you met them like in a normal environment, 99% of them would just be regular sweet guys. But you won't see that side of them because they're just like that, right? Well, what I realized, and here's the kicker to the whole thing, okay? So take that idea of how much you shut down, okay? Take that idea. Then what I realized is, I believe that most of us, in larger mass society, most of us are actually in that spaced out mode all the time. We just live permanently in that spaced out mode. We're just there. That's just where we live, permanently. And that could be because society has, just kind of beat us up. And look, there's all sorts of imaging in society. You have things like consumer culture where, there's some male model or female model and you compare yourself to them, or you compare yourself compared to some rich guy or rich girl, or you compare yourself to a celebrity. For guys these days, they call it toxic masculinity got huge. Women kind of want to draw attention to some of men's bad behavior. Men do have bad behavior. There's toxic male behavior. There's toxic female behavior. So they try to start a conversation about some toxic male behavior. For example, it's mostly men that start wars, right? That is true. So it's not that it's wrong, but if that becomes a focal point for men that are kind of in the group think, like, I don't care if that's a discussion, but for men that are actually like nice, sweet guys that are kind of in the group think, if that's their identity, is they're toxic, well then now they're going to completely shut down. And now women are wondering these days why they can't get a husband. They're like, how come every guy sucks? How come every guy's fucking weird? How come every guy's trapped in his head? How come men just play video games and masturbate to porn and smoke weed now? Women are like, I want to have children. I want a good man, but the only man that I'm attracted to is having sex with all my friends. Like I know like 3 attractive men. Every other man is invisible, and the 3 attractive men that I know are having sex with all my friends. Okay, now add to that the fact that like 60 to 70% of new jobs are going to women because feminism, which there is good aspects of that, and 60 to 70% of new college admissions are for women. So the guys aren't getting in college, the guys aren't getting jobs, the guys are called toxic, which again, I don't care about, but for guys that are easily impressionable, it hurts them. And then the guys are basically seeing all this imaging with consumer culture, Instagram, what they don't have. Then what happens is that those guys' winner effect gets shut down, and they permanently live in a spaced out state to where their communication is shut down, their brain is shut down, they can't think straight, they're spaced out. And look, let me be honest with you guys. I'll hear guys complaining about how we're not traditional in our gender roles anymore and they want to go back to traditionalism. If I was a woman, I would absolutely not want to be in a traditional relationship with 99.9% of the men that I meet on the street. I'm not even just talking 99%. That 99% would be fucking terrible. But 99 men out of 100 that I wouldn't, if I was a woman, I wouldn't want that man leading me. No. It is something in the range of like, I'd say like if I walk down the street on an average street, there might be one guy in 2,000 that I would consider allowing to lead me if I was a perfectly intelligent woman who does not need to be led, got a good college degree, has a good job. Why am I letting this fucker lead me? But the thing is that on the flip side, if you're looking for a wife, you're also in a similar percentile of finding a woman that you'd want to give half your income to. Is there a lot of women you really want to give half your income to? With the divorce laws these days that you trust, like with the current divorce laws, how many women do you meet that you'd want to give half your income to?
Guys, I just want to interrupt the video for a second. I'm having such a great day. We're out at an incredible restaurant today. I'm having a beautiful, beautiful evening. And I want to let you know that the purpose of the videos that I create here are to help you to achieve a crazy, crazy lifestyle, okay? Like, I want you to eat in the best restaurants. I want you to have the best people in your life that you've ever wanted. I want you to understand sales and marketing. I want you to understand inner growth. I want you to just have an incredible life. So as I'm sitting here just having a, beautiful day out here in Los Angeles, what I want to let you know is that I've created free events where I talk about the entire process that I use to live just a really, really fun and fulfilling lifestyle, okay? I just have a very, very fulfilling life. And so why don't you just stop screwing around and just sign up? Aren't you just sick of not having a fulfilling life? We have free events coming up all over the country. I do them all over the country. And my team does them all over the world, guys. Just click the freaking link. The ones I have coming up are San Francisco, Miami, Orlando, Philadelphia. I'm coming to Philadelphia, okay? Portland, I'm coming to Portland. Coming to Seattle, Chicago, New York, a whole bunch, okay? Click the link below and let's talk. I want to meet you in person. It's completely free. I want to give you feedback. I want to learn about you. We're going to go out at night on a field trip. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to get you public speaking. I'm going to get you doing sales and marketing. It's a beautiful free event. Look, come on. Just make this year the year. Click the link. Do it right now. You can do it virtually from anywhere in the world. We even have virtual events where you get feedback. Virtual events anywhere in the world. Click the link. Get in the free event. All right, back to the video.
So the gender roles are completely a mess, and population rates are plummeting, and they're going to keep plummeting. And then what's going to happen is, for the most part, women are going to meet guys off apps like Bumble and so on and so forth, or the couple like super slick, swaggy, swagged out dudes that they meet out. Those guys are going to have sex with basically it's like a very small percentage having sex with most women. And as a result of that, the guys are more and more beaten down. And then most guys these days are just straight up giving up. They've just given up. They're not even engaged anymore. Now, the problem with this is that if you have a male population that has no stake in the future of society, they have no stake in it, right? So they have no kids coming. They're going to go childless. So they have no stake in the future of society. Now we live in a democracy, so we live in that. They're going to vote in really, really weird politicians that promise really, really weird promises. They're going to shift the laws. The laws are going to change. Next thing you know, 2020 hits and everyone just sits in their house for a year on house arrest because they don't know about zinc and vitamin D. And you're going to get more and more and more of that. It's just going to keep accelerating, right? Well, the reason why that is, in my view, is because right now, your winner effect is basically permanently suppressed, okay? So your brain chemistry is just off. It's just suppressed. And that's why if you walk around on the streets, it's like, you ever see these pictures from like the 1800s? And it was like these kind of unthinking masses of like these people that are kind of like they're working at like a steel factory and they're just like they just look all fucked up. When you begin to elevate out of this stupor that I'm talking about, that's what regular society looks like to you when you're just at the shopping mall. That's what it looks like. Like it looks like the whole city is like the stereotype of a trailer park, but the high end of the city, like not a trailer park. And especially now, and again, I don't think that weed should be illegal. I don't think people should go to jail for weed, but weed is the worst thing that you could ever fucking smoke because it's so addictive, because it doesn't even hurt you that bad. It just hurts you a little bit, but that little bit adds up. Same as alcohol, it adds up. Processed foods, it adds up. So people are just in a stupor. What I'm going to explain to you is that your potential is much, much, much higher than you think. You've got a way higher potential than you realize. It is so much higher than you're aware of. So you guys have such a high potential. How do I know that? Look, here's how I know. I grew up in a stupor, so I know what it's like to be depressed, quote ADD, being in the stupor. Likewise, I have many, many friends who have also come out of the stupor. But I'm telling you, the number one thing that creeps women out is that stupor. That's what creeps them out. Because when you're going to talk to them, it literally looks like a guy in a fucking derp stupor coming up to them, fumbling all over himself, and then wanting to lead her and to potentially impregnate her. So it's fucking terrifying. It's fucking terrifying. And that's what women feel. That's why they find most men not just undesirable, but disgusting. Because it's a tangible revulsion and disgust, because that guy that comes up to them wants to potentially impregnate them. They know it, and it's like some bumbling moron fumbling around. It'd be like if you came to me and you want to take half my company. You're like, hey man, like, and if you could, and you're physically larger than me, and you could just take it by grabbing it out of my hand. You're like, hey man, like, hey, I like that half a company. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, disgusting. That's literally what they're feeling, because the guys look fucking spaced out. So but I'm talking about this as related to women, but the truth is that's just one component of it, right? Like really, it's about the fact that you're fucking broke. And here's where it gets crazy. Like, I'll do a speech like I did yesterday, breaking down the entire matrix, breaking down how to make money, how to elevate, how to build your own empire. I'll do that. And because, like, God forbid, it takes me maybe 2 hours to teach you how to build an empire. Like, yeah, whole entire empire, 2 hours. But it's like, well, could you make it faster? Like, could it be like a TikTok? Like, could I become like a rich multi-millionaire playboy like in like 30 seconds off of a TikTok? As if that's even possible. But what's happening is, when you add all those other factors, the weed, the booze, the processed foods, the being called toxic, the groupthink, the not having a stake in society, now you add in video games and you add in TikTok and dopamine spike driven social media that is rewiring your brain to not even be able to pay attention. Look, when I used to teach these courses back in 2002, 2003, 2004, I could come in, we'd get in here at 10 a.m., we would go all day, super dense information, very hard to understand, but you'd understand it. We'd go out at night, we'd implement it, and everybody got it. As I've gotten older, I'll be in the room, I'll be like, okay guys, so remember what I said 5 minutes ago? The room just gives me a blank look, spaced out. They don't hear what I'm saying. If I ask the room, do you want to have kids or a family? Most of the room says no. They don't want kids, they don't want a family. It's bad. Like, it's just getting really, really bad. And what's going to eventually happen is the population is going to get so dumbed down that you're not even be able to run democracy anymore, because you're not even be able to trust the population to vote. You know, so literally, we're already there, she says, yeah. So we're not even able to trust the population to vote, and then what's going to happen is you're just going to have a Chinese-style system, top-down authority, big daddy government with cameras everywhere. They already kind of implemented it just by using companies to do it. So that's where it's headed, right? You need to have an educated, awake population to handle self-governance, right? You know, even things like you don't want to have it where the population is disarmed, but the government is armed. You don't want to have that. But if the population is mentally retarded, and the average person can't be trusted to have a firearm, then that doesn't work. Then then a bunch of shootings happen, you get rid of the firearm. Now only the government is armed, which basically means that you're under a tyranny, because there's no sharing in the capacity to be armed, right? It's just the government, which means they have no fear of the population. That's why you see things like in Canada or New Zealand, where the lockdown just goes on and on and on and on, because nobody can do anything. So you need to have a population that wakes up. It's bad, guys, okay? It's bad. But here's the thing. While I cannot personally, in one video or one seminar, collectively fix the planet, although we could build a movement to fix it, but the point is I can't fix it in a day. There's so many more people out there that are in this room. What I can tell you is that a starting point in this room is just teaching you about that basic level thing called the winner effect. Now, the book, The Winner Effect, what it explains is when you feel like you're winning, your brain chemistry changes, okay? Men don't need to be placated. Men don't need to be told that they're nice or anything like that. Men just need to win. That's it. You need to win. And you need to win and win and win and win and win and win. That's reality, okay? Look, you need to be able to go into an environment and know that most of the women are attracted to you. That is critical for a man to have that. That doesn't mean you have to have sex with every woman. That doesn't even mean you have to have casual sex. That doesn't even mean you have to have sex at all. But you at least have to be the kind of guy where you go into a room and you know that the women, maybe they're not like, you know, wanting you to pipe them down instantly, but they at least view you as a respectable man who they would at least consider because you bring enough to the table. And if you don't have that, you feel like shit, because you kind of should feel like shit. Likewise, men need to have money. Life is expensive. You need money. You just need money. Okay, I would never be able to live with myself if I'd see all these cool things I want to do and I can't go do them. There's a place I want to take my children. I can't take them there. Look, I said to John today, I go, take my kids to that arcade tonight, the one in Belmont, right? What's that arcade called over by Belmont? Belmont Park, right? I said here, take a couple $1,000, spend everything they want on the fucking arcade, right? Imagine me as a father, I can't let my kids go do what they want to do. I gotta go, sorry little kid, don't get the popcorn, daddy can't pay for it. No, don't play that game. Now some people would say, oh, well, it's good to not spoil the kids. No. My kids do brutal overnight hikes out in the middle of wilderness that is highly, highly difficult to do. They have all sorts of hard things they do. My kids come up here and run seminars, they do that. I challenge my kids, but I don't want them living in scarcity. So men need to win. You don't want to look at your wife and be like, yeah, I can't provide for the family. That destroys you, okay? You don't want to look at supplements that you could use or organic foods that you could eat that could help you feel healthy and not be able to take them. It destroys you. Maybe there's a seminar that you want to go do. Oh, I could learn from that, would help me. Can't do it. It destroys you. That's not an acceptable place for a man. Now look, below all the winning, you have to have a spiritual foundation, knowing that you're a child of God, knowing that you're something more than just the wins that you produce. Because at the end of the day, you will get old and you're going to lose it all and you're going to die. So you should have a spiritual foundation beneath all the winning, knowing that you're more than just the endless winning. You got to know who you are. And you're going to have moments where you go down and you're going to have really, really bad losses. And that's where you get in touch with God, okay? We don't get in touch with God by winning and winning. We get in touch with God by pain and loss. And that's a moment for spiritual connection. But that should be a foundation. That shouldn't just be a reason to be broke and to lose and to suck and so on and so forth. Now, what I envision for you is the ability to have, repeat this after me, sustained focus. Say that.
Sustained focus.
Lateral thinking.
Lateral thinking.
Upward spirals.
Upward spirals.
Powerful communication.
Powerful communication.
Okay, I like it. So, in other words, do you guys see how my voice resonates without the speakers? That's not a technique. This is what all of your voices actually sound like. Every single one of you in this room, even the girls, you have your version of this. The reason that you don't have a voice that projects is because you think you're a loser and your voice is clamming up. Do you guys see how I'm able to free associate and just string together seminars up here? You guys are also as good at public speakers as I am. You just don't know it. You're all like this. Now, you're going to see it because we're going to bring people up and we're going to do the transformation, and regular guys in the room are going to do the same thing that I'm doing here. You're going to look just like me. You're going to have a voice like me, but your own version of it, but it'll project like how mine projects. You're going to free associate like how I do. Okay, I'll get you to about 80% of my level within a few minutes when I bring you up. You're going to see it. That's because I don't like to teach public speaking. I want to unlock what you already have. So when I tell you that I can perform miracles, here's what you're not getting. You're already a miracle. I'm just showing you the miracle that you are. That's it. I'm just unlocking what you already have. That's why I'm able to do so much crazy stuff as far as personal transformation. I get these results not because my secrets are so good, but because you're already built to have it, and I'm just showing you how to unlock it. That's all that it really is. Now, that sounds all cool and airy-fairy and syrupy and sticky sweet. What does that mean pragmatically? Here's what it means, okay? What it means pragmatically is that if you feel like you're safe and you have status and like you're winning, then your brain unlocks. Let me explain the mechanism behind why, okay? Let's say that all this modern society stuff is very, very new. It's new. We didn't have this back in the day. And what we had back in the day was little caveman, cavewoman, cave people tribes. Maybe 150 people, but whatever it was, right? And so if you were to go wander around and go into a new tribe, if you were to become loud, and if you were to become charismatic, and if you have a lot of swag and are loose and unstifled, and you don't have all these neurotic holding patterns in your voice and in your movement and in your lateral thinking, if you get rid of all that, what happens is that women want to have sex with you, okay? So what's gonna happen is, just trust me on this, okay? Go out to a restaurant, let loose all these neurotic holding patterns, free your voice, free your lateral thinking, free your sense of humor, free your joy, be sitting with a group of friends, having the most fun of anybody there, and watch as women run to your table and start hugging on you and kissing on you without even you doing anything, wanting to trade Instagrams with you, wanting to trade numbers with you, wanting to get to know you. that just happens when you're loose and fun. It's just what happens, okay? So likewise, you go out to a bar or club and you're having fun, women see that and they start coming up to you, okay? So what happens is, if your brain lets you become like that, your unconscious mind knows that when you're some dumb caveman, women will come up and want to mate with you. But what would happen is, if you don't have status within the tribe, you're not allowed to mate. And by the way, my kids will be in here in a second. I'm going to slightly tone down the conversation so I can get this mating part out before they come in. But I have mated before. You're about to see the proof. So this is what your sperm turns into when you let it loose. Okay? Are they in the car? Where are they at? Okay, I'll finish this little naughty part, and then we'll bring them in for a cleaner part. So, okay, we'll wrap up the naughty threads. But the point is, I've made it at least 3 times. So the point being is that what happens is that when you get like this, if you're like, as an example, say you're a caveman, right? Women would just come start having sex with you. But if you don't know where you stand in the tribe, other men who have the mating rights of those women, back in the day, not now, would come up and they just kill you. Like, they just kill you, okay? Like, they just see you, what are you doing? Grab a rock, you're dead. So what your brain does is your brain needs what's called proof, not promises. Repeat that after me. Proof, not promises?
Proof, not promises.
Your brain just needs to actively see that you are have status in the tribe, that you have clout within the tribe. That's why human beings are so hierarchical, so obsessed with clout. They'll obsess over Kim Kardashian just because people are looking at her, even if she's not doing anything productive. Maybe she's got some Skims brand or something, but you know my point, right? So people are obsessed with status for that reason, because it basically implies who gets to mate, whose genes get to continue. That's why people are obsessed with this. So what happens is, for example, your brain is assessing who has value within an environment, okay? So in this environment, we're teaching public speaking. Because we're teaching public speaking, and I know public speaking, I have what's called the situational value in this environment. Say that, situational value. Situational. Okay, so what that means, do you guys remember yesterday when I was kind of running around and I was going up to you guys and I was like just talking to you and putting you in my frame? Like, I'm like, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Good.
Do you see how shaky he is? How are you doing?
Good.
Do you guys see how shaky he is? How are you doing?
Good.
Do you see how shaky he is? He's like, oh, I'm good, like that, right? Okay. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah. What's up, man?
Not much.
How you feeling?
Good.
You're copying me. Why are you copying me? Why do you love me so much?
Why did you love me?
Okay, you see what I'm doing there? Okay, you see what I'm doing, right? I can subtly be like, hey, hey, hey! What's up, man?
That's good.
What's good, baby? Okay, see what I'm doing, right? So I'm controlling frames. My brain, now what's funny is, like, what do you do for work?
I do Instacart grocery shopping and
Awesome.
sales.
What do you do?
I started a company.
Okay, do you guys hear how shaky he is? He's like, I started a company. You see how he's shaky? He's not like that all the time. He's like that, he's sweating right now. He's covered, like, here, stand up. Like, look at the, look, just zoom in, just to make the point, right? There's sweat on his forehead, like heavy ass. Yeah, because he's shaking, because the person at this loud, booming little leprechaun is at the front of the room, yelling, putting pressure on him, and he's feeling that status dynamic, okay? You're copying me. You're in my frame. You gotta get me copying you.
I just want to tell you how much I love how you dress, man. I really love the accentuation of the
Hey,
style
hey,
that
hey,
you got on
hey,
there.
hey.
No. I got
Thank
some for
you.
you. Yeah? Oh, cool. I'm glad you received that.
How glad you're copying me again. Are you thinking about it? You're taking a deep breath. You nervous?
It's just.
Are you a little bit nervous?
No, I'm just really enjoying being here with you.
You don't feel bullied, right?
No, it's just I'm taking in your energy, and it's a lot. I'm appreciating it.
Okay? And he's like, and this dude's not like some pussy. Can you guys tell? Right? He's not some pussy. But bro, like, look, let's be honest. Like, if I'm in a room and the fucking dude's up at the front, he's coming up on me like that, I'd have, like, bro, look at me. Yo, Like, I'd have a sweating forehead. Like, he's sweating even more now. Look at him. Look how much he's sweating. He's like, oh, shit, right? Like, I feel the same way. Like, it's like, the only person that doesn't feel that way is a psychopath that has no impulse control. So the fact that you feel a bit awkward, like, that actually means that you're emotionally healthy. Now, by the way, what I teach at the highest of levels is how to be in that situation and to, like, stay level. Because the truth is, for example, in dating, if you're speaking to someone who's so attractive they intimidate you, you've got to still be able to hold frame and you've got to stay grounded. So that's kind of the whole art form of the whole thing. But the point being is, your mind will shut down when you feel under pressure. But the thing is, if we live in consumer culture where there's all these people that have these things that we think give them status, and then we crave those things. Well, if I had a car like that, then I'd have status. So are they really selling you the car? Or is what they're selling you is the status that you perceive yourself as having because of the car? It's the emotional experience, right? That's why, even though I have a lot of those things, I own a lot of those things, I specifically will go out dressed like shit, and I will make an idiot of myself, and I do that just to test myself. In fact, I went out for a long time, about half a year in a wheelchair, because I was in a ski accident. But even now when I teach, I go out in a wheelchair. I still bring out the wheelchair. And I get my students to bring out the wheelchair, just to prove that you could do it from the wheelchair, okay? But what's happening is that same mode, try to follow, this is super key, okay? That same mode that makes you shut down under pressure and that makes you get intimidated by a beautiful woman or makes you feel like you're just not able to clarify your thoughts when you're not the leader, society lives in that mode. We just live in that mode. Now, I'm going to explain the healthy reason of that, but I'm going to explain the toxic thing that happens there too, okay? Toxic. The healthy version of that is that if I'm in one of those little planes in Alaska, you know those little planes that everybody flies around Alaska, and it crashes, and I don't know my way out of Denali or something. Say we crash in Denali, or we crash in, Valdez or something, right? Crash in Seward. These are random places in Alaska that I've been to. If I don't know my way out, my winner effect is going to go down, and I'm going to start looking around to see who might know their way out. Now, let's say that you are very like, oh no, bro, I got this shit. I know the way out of here. Like, I'm pretty sure I can get us out of here. Just follow me, right? And you look really confident. I will become very compliant. My brain chemistry will become subordinate to your brain chemistry. So your brain chemistry will shoot up, mine will shoot down. As a result, you might be funny, lateral thinking, improvisational. So you get given, it's almost like you ate my neuroendocrine banana, okay? So if I'm clowning you, it's like I ate your neuroendocrine banana. Like whatever validation that you had, like whatever winner effect you had, I ate it. I just went, and I ate it. Look, this even gets a little bit deeper. You ever have a relationship where you love the girl so much and she dumps you, and then you beg for her back, and at the end of it, she leaves, and it's as if she's eaten your neuroendocrine banana. It's like she got more validation. She's like, I am hot. Look at him beg.
It's called a soul sucker.
A soul sucker, okay? It's also called even just what regular girls do if you beg. And so the thing is like even non-soul sucker girls, right? I've begged. I'll admit it. You know, right? Come on, who here hasn't begged? You know what I mean? You know, you love your girl, she dumps you, you're like, baby, please. I know I cheated on you like 50 times, but please. I'm just kidding, I didn't. But the point is like, you beg, and then as soon as you beg, they say no. Like, let's say that like maybe she was like there, you're there. After you beg, your state goes boom, and she goes boom, and then she'll come. And then also, if she's not used to that, what up, Jade? If she's not used to that, she also could get hella arrogant. Like, you ever had it where you had the frame the whole relationship, and she was always the one following you, but then finally she took it, and then you just collapse, and you're like, please, I love you. And she hasn't had a frame, and she's like, no, I have the frame now. Ha 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 ha. Goodbye, right? That's because she just ate your neuroendocrine banana. And you know how it destroyed you. And by the way, it's weird, but if you get like sucked out like that, it's like, it could take you like 6 months to just get back to being yourself. It's kind of a mess. Like you turn into a different version of yourself. You know, meanwhile, she's out there like getting banged out on some crypto yacht or something like that, right? So, and then funny enough, if you have to kind of build your way back gradually over a couple years, where she was in a bit of like a delusional bubble. So you actually wind up better off. But it could be the woman that does that too. The point is, that's the neuroendocrine banana. So if we're walking around with that mechanism, we have that because, look, if you're in a caveman tribe and the leader of the pack is a better hunter than you, we've evolved that so that the better hunter will be the leader. But maybe the better cook becomes leader in the context of cooking. Maybe the better dancer becomes the leader in the context of dancing around the fire. Maybe the better person at finding plants and berries, they get the winner effect in that environment. So it causes humans to kind of coalesce behind a leader and then to feed them winner effect while there's kind of like the leaders goes up, 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 while let's say there's 5 subordinates, theirs go down, down, down. They follow the leader and the leader's got to lead the way. That's also why they talk about how if a woman can't let her man lead, she's messing with his mind. She's not trusting him, right? But again, if you're a woman these days, how many motherfuckers would you trust? Like, look, even this is a room of some of the best guys you could find. These are guys into self-help. Like, y'all are not just watching TikTok smoking weed. You're here to learn long-form self-help content. And look around. How many guys in this room would you just give your subordination to? Not many, if any. And if you're a girl, you got your own money, why would you do it? Why would you do it? There's no need. And then like the one guy that you do it for is fucking all your friends. And he's getting the neuroendocrine banana, by the way. That's why it happens. It's a snowball effect, right? When Pete Davidson starts sleeping with, Kate Beckinsale and Kim Kardashian and Ariana Grande, and the list goes on, his winner effect is shooting up, and other women see that winner effect shooting up, and then they go after him. That's why when it rains, it pours. Say that with me. When it rains, it pours. Because your winner effect is going up and up and up. So as a man, but I believe this for women too, you've got to always be aware that you want to just keep winning and winning and winning and winning. It's similar to in a basketball game. One team starts to dominate the other team, and the other team just can't hit a shot. You'll have the star player of another team missing layups. They're just getting dominated. They'll be right under the basket, put it up, and it just comes out. And then the other team starts shooting from half court. They call it hitting the shot from the logo. You know the Jerry West logo of the NBA? They start hitting shots from the fucking logo, from center court. There's like, they just start dominating the team. They just go, boom. It's like the hoop got wider. The hoop got wider for them. So that's why you've always got to be winning and winning and winning and winning. Stacking paper, stacking wins. And by the way, you better be careful you get into a relationship, because if your winner effect starts to go down in front of your girl, watch the RAS flip happen. Watch it happen. They were previously focusing on what's good about you and what they loved about you and ignoring what was bad about you. Later, if your winner effect goes down, the whole neuroendocrine dynamic gets thrown off, and then they have what's called an RAS flip. RAS is your selective focus, reticular activation system. It's your selective focus. If they like you, they're like, well, he's confident, he's funny, he's cool, he has potential. What happens is when they RAS flip, they'll be like, you know what, I've realized, look, I really do love you, but I don't think we share the same values. And then you go and you argue back, you go, baby, no, we do share the same values. She goes, no, there's a bit of like a values misalignment. Now, if you were winning, would she care about the values misalignment? No, okay? No, the answer is no. So what happens is she says something, because who has complete values alignment? That doesn't exist. No one has total alignment of values. When's the last time you met a woman or man that you had complete alignment in values with, right? So what has to happen is, here's the key, guys. The winning has to be so strong that it overwhelms the slight misalignments in values. It's focus, guys, focus. It overwhelms the personality flaws that you have. Because everyone has personality flaws. Everyone has flaws in their looks. Everyone has values that the other person might not like. Everyone has weird habits they might not like. Look, let's be honest. No matter how much gum you chew, no matter how much healthy food you eat, you're gonna have bad breath sometimes. That's reality. You're gonna fart sometimes. You know, your weird ass beard, whether you shave it and it's prickly or let it rip like me, is kind of weird. And the only way that you can be attractive, not to mention just a man naked just looks ridiculous. Even a good-looking man. Like, is there really such thing as a good-looking man at all? Like, as much as we compare looks, like, is there any guy who just walks out, like, naked, like, with his little schlong flipping back and forth, like, hi there? Like, is there any version of that looks good? So, even the best version of that's still hairy, smelly. So the only way that that's attractive is if you have so much value that you have what's called a halo effect, and the halo effect overwhelms that. Let me even go deeper on this concept, by the way. Cluster B personality disorder, that could be things like BPD, borderline personality disorder, NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, sociopathy, psychopathy, general neurosis, OCD, like obsessive compulsive disorder, ADD, depression. The population is riddled with all sorts of psychological disorders, right? If you're gonna be a leader, whether of a country or of your work or whatever, you have to have so much value in the eyes of the people that are following your lead that you overwhelm that so all their weird neurosis and annoying habits don't come out. Look, you know how I know this? Because I've run businesses for years. I've had often in excess of 100 staff. And if I become weak, you will literally see all these weird tendencies pop out of people that you thought were cool. Like some staff that you have that you like got along really well with, and suddenly like they're a psycho? Like this guy's a psycho? Like this guy has NPD? This guy is depressed? This guy has a values conflict? This guy here is mad at me because I didn't give him a donut last year and he suddenly remembered it from a year ago, right? This guy here realizes that like he doesn't see the mission, he doesn't connect to the mission anymore, but it's randomly when I became weak. Like, so in other words, when the leader creates cohesion and it sort of bypasses and provides the fuel to bypass all these different weird neuroses. Like, look at how well behaved this room is. Like, look at you. When I come up to you, your forehead sweats. You comply with me. Man, you could be like the biggest dickhead in the world, but I'll never know, right? Like, look how nice everybody is in here. You're laughing at my jokes. You're listening to me. You're going along for the ride that I'm taking you on. Do we really believe that all this entire room is that well behaved that no one here has any NPD? There's no psycho in here. Even though psycho is like 5% of the population, like, I know that one or two of you are psycho. It's probably you. Oh, shit. You see that? She didn't get nervous, right? So, right? You know it's true that there's like a couple psychos, there's a couple weirdos. Maybe I'm one of them, right? So the point being is that the leadership and that neuroendocrine banana is what bypasses that. That's why you got to understand, when you hear, whether it's staff or someone you're dating or whatever, and they have a complaint, you should definitely listen and take what they're saying into consideration, not just be a total dickhead, but realize that while all the things they're saying are true, here's what you got to understand. There's never enough alignment with anybody that you can achieve alignment without that winner effect dynamic that we're talking about. The thing that bypasses the differences of opinion or the different values or the different mental conditions or the bad habits or the things that are problematic in all the different people that you lead, whether a romantic relationship or a business or whatever it is, the thing that bypasses it is strength, is winning creates cohesion. Trump said it, right? He's like, they said, what do you think of all the Democrats that didn't vote for you? He's like, winning will bring people together. We've got to build back the economy. We've got to be prosperous. We've got to win. And if we win, we're going to come back together. And if we lose, we're going to fight. Winning creates cohesion. Losing creates fracturing real quick. And if you're a leader, look, here's the thing. You're hearing this right now, right? You're going, well, why do I have to do that? Why do I have to do that? I don't want to have to do that. Well, let's be clear about this. If I'm a leader, my pay is not just, look, it would be one thing if your pay was 20% more than the people who you lead. But is the leader's pay 20% more than the people who you lead? On average, what kind of multiplication is the leader's pay? 200% more? Hell no. No, it's hundreds, if not thousands of times more. You're basically getting the benefit of the pay of like 100 men. That's why if I was a woman, if it was me, I'd only date a business owner. Because if you're dating a business owner, it's like you have your own harem. You date the right guy, it's like you're dating 1,000 men. When you guys want to date 1,000 women, just walk in a room with 1,000 women waiting for you. If you're a woman, you date the right business owner, you have that in one guy. If you've got a bunch of staff, that staff might be helping her. She's got the financial resources of that. I wouldn't want to just go with some nasty, like Bill Gates or Steve Ballmer or something like that, right? I wouldn't want that. But just like, a middle ground of a guy that I am attracted, that probably one I'd be attracted to anyway, but as a shit dealer, I'm not saying that you have to be a business owner to get a girl. You could be a club promoter and get a girl. In fact, they do. But the point is that I would personally want that if I was a woman. I would never date a non-entrepreneur if I was a woman. But don't worry, most of them don't think that deeply about it. They just date the biggest fucking retard. So you don't need to worry about that, okay? Well, that's just the truth, right? They view that as status. Like that guy at the club's like, yeah. They're like, wow, he's the best. So don't even worry about it. You could fix that in 2 seconds. But I'm just saying if I was a woman, because I'm thinking about this from my own personal experience. Now, okay, because you guys got to understand, like if you're a girl dating the right guy, you wake up, you don't gotta make breakfast. Breakfast is served to you. You go shopping, you buy whatever you want at Rodeo, you go get a massage. Then you just like plan some trip with your kids who are all in private school, have all the nutritional food. You just fly around places. It's a completely different life. So there's like what? 7 billion people, 9 billion people in the world, whatever it is, right? Out of all them, you can't find one that you find attractive who also runs a business. That's just what I do if I'm a woman, right? And I know that scares you guys. You're like, don't tell the girls that. Guys, don't worry. Not that many women watch my videos. You'll be fine, okay? Okay? You'll be fine. So in other words, but I'm just saying that's what I would do if I was a woman. Luckily for you guys, you don't run a business. Mostly what women respond to is just guys that are ridiculous, like just guys that are funny and crazy. Actually, you want to know what women respond to? The shit I'm talking about here, winner effect. That's what they actually respond to. You guys see what I'm saying here? That's what they're responding to. So, and that's really the big lesson of this, right? Is that you could be a 22-year-old brokey who's ugly, short, has physical defects. But if you have that winner effect thing down and people buy into it, you got to understand, I have coaches that have been 5'2", and they'd walk up and they'd do the same exercise that we're doing, and you'd still react the way that you are. Even though I've had coaches that are 5'2". So anybody can actually learn that, right? So see, the thing is like, how tall are you?
5'2".
You're 5'2". So the thing for you is this, okay? People will see you and they'll say, oh no, the reason that he can't be successful is he's 5'2". Guys, I'm a bald, pot-bellied Santa Claus look-like dwarf with a gray beard. Do I carry who just came out of a wheelchair? Do I carry myself like that? You gotta carry yourself like you're fucking Zeus, okay? Say the word motherfucking Zeus.
Motherfucking Zeus.
Good, okay? Carry yourself like that and people will buy into it. You can make the choice to carry yourself like that, but here's the key. Your brain won't let you. That's what fucks you. And that's why you don't fuck. And that's why you don't get paid, okay? Because you have the lateral thinking and the brain power to make all the money you want, to get all the social success you want, to come up with inventions. You have the capacity for sustained focus. You have that capacity, okay? But you've got to learn how to trigger your brain chemistry to work for you. So what are some ways that you do this? Okay, part of it is spiritual work. You don't want to just rely on external wins. The reason why you want to do the spiritual work is this, because sometimes the wins stop. And your capacity to restart the engine and to restart the upward spiral will depend on your spiritual work. So the real work begins when you just did a campaign and blew all your cash, or you just got dumped, or you just got attacked in the media, not that I would know, and so on and so forth, okay? So that's the real work, is when you're down, okay? Because the spiritual work is what allows you to begin rebuilding that upward spiral. When you're shut down, beat into the dirt. So that's why working on social skills, for example, when you first go out and begin your night out, that's a chance to do some quick spiritual, or to rely on spiritual work, where like you're not getting validated, but you just kick on the engine. From there, though, what you want to do is you want to have methodologies to kick in that winner effect. Now, here's why, and I'm going to take this full circle, and then we're going to go into the transformations. This is an introduction to them. Here's why what we teach here is so effective, okay? There's 1,000+ different things that I do to help you, many. There's things that I'm even doing up here that you don't even know. I'm doing spiritual fucking surgery on you from up here. You don't even know that I'm doing it, okay? You're completely unaware. You're just kind of vaguely aware of it peripherally. But there's some things that are very rudimentary and simplistic that while being rudimentary and simplistic are very, very, very effective, so don't sleep on them. And here's what they are, okay? If I can get you in front of a crowd, and if I can unlock your voice, just like that, and if you do that, and here's what you do. You walk the crowd like this, Now, observe this, okay? Because in this situation, I'm the leader. I'm not the leader of all of you in real life, but in this situation, situationally I have value, just situationally. Because of that, if I use my voice properly, that gives you all permission to use your voice. But it's harder coming up here alone and everyone's staring at you. And so what'll happen is your voice will clamp down. Now, what'll happen is if you can force yourself to use it, which I can help you because I can use my voice and the instructors can use their voice, we can anchor you to that voice, anchor you to it. Then what we do is we get you going around like this and using your voice. Your unconscious mind, your evolutionary brain is gonna realize, wait a minute, I just went around and fucking yelled at everybody. Nobody attacked me. Nobody got mad at me. People accepted me. That means I'm the leader. And so what's going to happen is if you believe you're the leader, it's going to kick on a part of your brain. Now, from there, we will get you doing public speaking. And if we get you doing public speaking is not just public speaking. Public speaking is actually a shift in status. People say public speaking is the hardest thing in the world because there's so many mental mechanisms that block you from doing public speaking. The other thing that's hard to do is to approach someone you're attracted to and it intimidates you, right? But if you can learn the mechanisms to bypass that, then what's going to wind up happening is going to switch on your brain. Now, by the way, let me say another interesting thing about this, okay? Whenever I teach boot camp, I recommend to guys, and it's not needed to do it, but I recommend it, that you come out to a couple boot camps. Now, I know you're thinking, you're like, yo, because to help myself, right, Owen, right? But I do recommend it, because here's why. If guys come on a couple trainings with me and they get good, like they're actively very good, and they start getting good results and they prove it to me, I will allow them to come and volunteer at a training as a leader. Now, again, here's what you're going to say. Oh, what, I volunteer and help you? Guys, I'm up here doing my thing. Do I need a volunteer to come help me? Do I need help? Like, oh, I'm too tired. I'm too tired, y'all. Gonna sit down so Timmy can get up and lead the way. Okay? I'm not coming from that place. I don't need help, okay? I get energy from doing this stuff. I love it. But if I see that someone is working very, very hard, I allow them to come and volunteer. And why do they come and volunteer? Because they want the chance to lead. So what I'm saying to you is learn this today, but every chance that you have to lead, take that chance. Now, here's kind of a funny thing, okay? Back in the day, there used to be these different groups in the community called layers, and basically it was like local city groups where guys would kind of help each other out in a local city group. And what you always saw was guys who would actually fight to get power and clout within the group. This was sort of a common thing. And the layer leaders would power trip a lot. It was kind of bad. The reason why they were addicted to being the leader and they would power trip was because they were getting their neuroendocrine banana from it. They're not even getting paid off it. They just feel this instinct, I gotta lead, I gotta lead, I gotta lead, I gotta lead. But what would happen is they would get addicted to it because that was the only context in which they could get their neuroendocrine banana. That's the only context that it would wake their brain up. So the way they'd experience it is they'd go out to their little lair and they'd be like, oh, my brain switches on when I'm out here. Look, let's be honest, right? Guys, sex with a condom, I don't know about for you guys, but for me, I like having a girlfriend because then I don't have to use a condom. I would rather have a girlfriend who I don't have to use a condom and she's on birth control than having random girls that have to use a condom. But most guys want to get laid a lot. Is it really that guys want to have a lot of condom sex instead of having a lovely girlfriend that you get along great with? Or is it that guys get addicted on the validation from having multiple sex partners? What do you think it is? It's the validation, right? So that's a little bit of that same kind of vibe, right? Where it's like they're getting validation out of it. That's why they want to do it. So that's why a lot of guys, once they've had enough validation, like, I kind of just want a girlfriend. But, you know, that's sort of a, but guys will try to bypass that. They're like, I'm like that now, but it's like, you can't even say hi to somebody, so stop fronting, bro. Stop. Okay, you don't got it like that, so shut the fuck up. But it's like people that want to bypass their entrepreneur journey. They want to bypass the spiritual journey. Like, I feel like I've already arrived. It's like, come on, bro. Like, you don't got it like that. You ain't built like that. That's not you. Shut the fuck up. Okay, take your fucking journey. But what I'm getting at here is this. Okay, so people get addicted on pockets of validation, pockets of it, where they get validation. You know what I would say to you? Two things. First of all, learn how to get validation from multiple different venues, multiple environments. So, see, I will run events like this where I have built-in clout. I also do parties at my crib where I have built-in clout. But then what I do is I go to random environments where I have no clout. And I walk in those environments and I go fucking hard and I build status where nobody knows me. That's the real challenge. I also, by the way, do public speaking in environments where nobody knows who I am. I speak at my friends' events where nobody knows who I am, although I still get the clout of being put on the stage, right? So you want to have environments that give you the clout, that quote unquote give you the neuroendocrine banana, but then you want to test yourself and go into a different environment where you don't know anybody and learn how to ramp yourself up. Also, then what you want to do, you want the bonus points, you want the best bonus points, go into nature for a couple months, or at least on weekends or whatever, and get away from any kind of validation and learn to sustain that brain, that level of presence and awakeness in the brain and winter effect in the brain, staring at a bunch of fucking trees. That's when you know you pulled it within yourself. So I love to spend time in nature for that reason. Basically, my lifestyle is this. I meditate all the time because I want to learn to maintain winter effect just staring at a wall. I take a lot of Eastern herbs, okay? I am this ginseng-fueled, reishi-fueled son of a bitch because I love Eastern herbs because they help you to get present. I'm totally addicted on Eastern herbs, okay? Then what I do is I do a lot of flow state activities like skiing and nature to be more in a flow state. Then I do random socializing out to be in a flow state. Then I do free events and free social public speaking to get into a flow state. It's all flow state, flow state, flow state, flow state, flow state, flow state, flow state. And I do that because I know that if I maintain that state, I could do public speaking like this, nothing prepared, and be one of the best speakers of all time. And then I can use that to do marketing campaigns. I can use that to get paid. You get paid and you stack wins when you stay in that state. You're better, you're faster, sharper, better, more effective, more locked in, more sane focused than any competitor. You're invincible. You destroy them. I mean, you get to the point that you're so deep in their head, they just suffer. They're like, how does this guy keep winning? How does this guy do this? How do you keep up with this guy? He's superhuman. How do I keep up with this superhuman motherfucker? He's superhuman. She's superhuman. Can't keep up. That's right, bitch. I ate your neuroendocrine banana. Now sit the fuck down. They start sweating. They get in their head. You dominate them. You get all their cash. Okay? Not even trying to. Really, you're all meant to compete. Competition is fun. You should enjoy and relish competition. But that's what happens. So I understand that I don't want to be in some corporation where I'm just put into a position and I turn all nerdy. I want to be a founder or someone who's doing things that are challenging, and I want to use my mind and I want to stack wins. So here's what I'm trying to show you, okay? So let's bring it full circle. So I will bring you guys up here and I will get you doing public speaking. What you're going to find is when you do the public speaking, and you do that around the room, you're going to see the winner effect turn on in your brain. You're going to see a shift in your brain chemistry, okay? You're going to see a profound shift in your fucking brain chemistry. And this is going to get you to the point where you're like, wait a minute, I've had a business idea for the past 5 years and I wouldn't admit it to myself. Wait a minute, I feel like I could focus all day. Even just feeding off the environment here, do any of you guys feel like, man, if I was just like this every day, I could accomplish anything because I could focus? That's why you do it, right? You don't need to take, Ritalin or Adderall to be able to focus. You've got to learn to do it naturally. You don't need to take a psychedelic to learn to think laterally and outside the box. You can learn it naturally. You might not have the visuals, the pink dragon and the machine elves, but you can have something sustainable rather than this big explosion that just kind of goes away, right? People take DMT, they're like, I saw the machine elves, I saw my higher self, I saw God, I saw the tree of life, I saw the deeper reality, like, cool. And then they walk out and they start kicking the tire when they get a parking ticket. So it's like it's this big explosion that is hard to integrate. It's difficult to integrate. What we're showing here is easier to, it's harder to achieve, and it takes more strategy, but as you're doing it, you're gradually growing roots as opposed to just shooting up the tree and no roots, right? A lot of psychedelics, it's almost like, say you took steroids and your muscles got all big, but you didn't build the tendons, you didn't build the mind-muscle connection, you didn't build the cardio, you didn't build the support muscles, you just got big too fast. As opposed to maybe if you kind of gradually build it up, right? If you learn to build your winner effect gradually, by gradually slaying harder and harder dragons and taking on greater and greater challenges and just gradually building your way up, by the end of it, you're gonna be ready for prime time. Say that word, ready for prime time.
Ready for prime time.
So like ready for prime time to me, what that means, by the way, before we jump in this, is like I'm shooting a video series and I've spent 50 or 100 grand to go to Alaska and hired private planes, and I want to get the exact video that I'm trying to build in this huge series. And if I don't nail it, I'm fucked, right? I've had it like, I like landed in the mountains of Denali in a private plane. I've got 7 minutes to shoot the video that I want. The sun goes away, and I've been planning this 3-minute shot for 6 months. I paid 50 grand to get the fucking shot, not because I have to. I don't have to shoot the video in Denali. No one's gonna know the difference. Only I will know. But why have I chosen to do that? What's my reasoning? What's the reason, guys?
Proof, not promise.
I want to test myself. I want to try something harder in a more difficult environment and see if I clam up. Funny enough, that shot, I did clam up. I did, but then I got it at the end. I was like the sun was moving, and I was like, 6 months of prep, thousands of dollars, one chance, never gonna have another chance again. I'm like, turn the fucking camera on! Turn the fucking camera on, right? And I was like, okay, so guys, and I was like, holy shit, my brain's clamming up. I saw the limit of my capacity to say locked in the pocket, to say zen, to say free from outcome, which you have to do if you're gonna do this stuff. I saw the limit. And then I calmed down. I'm like, okay, Owen, calm the fuck down. Got my intro for the video, flew the fuck out there in the private plane. It was baller shit, okay? And that was the moment that I pressed myself. When I do events, I do harder and harder events. Back in the day, I would do a canned speech, but do 15 minutes free associated, and that was hard. Later, I got to half an hour free associated. I remember it was Chicago 2009 or 10. I did my first hour and a half speech, all free associated. It was hard to do, but that's getting ready for prime time. You build your winner effect up to the point that you can handle that. So what you want to do is use the winner effect that we build here, but then get yourself into environments where you can lead. Get used to leading, get used to being a leader, not just because you'll get paid more, not just because you'll have upward mobility, not just because you'll live the life of your dreams, but because it changes your state of consciousness. You don't want to live in the old way. I promise you. You do not want to live in a fucking derp state. You don't want to live compliant. You don't want to live in somebody else's frame, sweating in the forehead when some dickhead talks to you in a seminar. Fuck all that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, okay? So what you want to do instead is you want to own this, and here's the best part too. You're gonna crush in public speaking when you do this. Your voice is gonna open up, your brain's gonna turn on, but you know the other thing, you're gonna go out to a bar or club, and you're gonna be so grounded in your winner effect that in the same way that I talk to you guys, you're gonna hold frame like that on people that you're attracted to. And you're gonna lay back, and here's the key to the whole thing, you lay back, and you know the validations with you. That's the game. Validation is in here. I have frame. Buyer-seller dynamic, I am the buyer who's choosing whether or not to buy. You are the seller. And they feel that. And if you believe that, that generates attraction. It's also what generates sales. Okay? This watch, expensive watch, it only sells because they have imposed a frame that you're lucky to get it. That's what generates attraction when you're out. Okay? So everything changes when you get this down. Your whole life gets easier, more prosperous, more healthy. Look, they've even done studies that when you have this down, you don't even get sick. They've done studies on this. I can't guarantee that. I'm not a doctor. I've never done a double-blind study, but they've done studies. So life's just gonna get better, but you basically have to keep pressing into your edge your entire life. It never stops, guys. It never stops. So if right now the way that you're living is you don't go approach people that you're into, you don't try to do better in your career, you don't do challenging nature hikes or things in sports, You're not scaring yourself. You should also be having failures. You should be kicked down sometimes. You should have shit kicked in your face sometimes. If you're not doing that, you're living the wrong way. Guys like Tom Brady or LeBron James, they would say about Tom Brady, for example, he's not the best quarterback. He's the greatest quarterback. The best quarterback was Aaron Rodgers. Currently, the best quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Why is Tom Brady viewed as the greatest quarterback?
He fucking wins.
It's not just because he wins, though. Aaron Rodgers wins. Patrick Mahomes wins. Tom Brady is not as skilled of a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers. He's not as skilled of a quarterback as Patrick Mahomes. What is it that makes him the greatest quarterback? It's what we just talked about for the past hour here. It's that he's in the Super Bowl down by 28, and then he just goes back and wins. His winner effect just stays locked in. You'll watch Brady. It's like, are you a great third down quarterback? Do you stay locked in the pocket? Do you stay calm, right? LeBron James was down 3-1 against the most winningest team in all of NBA regular season history, the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry, and he came back and he won from 3-1 down when no one's ever won a series like that. It was all winner effect based. You know when I knew that the Warriors were going to lose? They asked Klay Thompson, they said, hey, are you better than the 1980s Lakers? And he goes, we are better than the 1980s Lakers. You want to know why that was a mistake? He was taking his winner effect from ego. As soon as he said, I'm better than the 1980s Lakers, y'all. Magic Johnson, better than them. He was going outside of himself for validation and seeking it outside, which means that as soon as LeBron and Kyrie start to dominate Klay and Steph, his house of cards will fall. LeBron starts to dominate. Draymond Green does some stupid shit that gets him suspended. LeBron wins a game. Wait a minute, they're soaring back. Oh shit. LeBron wins another game. Oh shit. Right? They were getting their validation outside themselves. LeBron comes back, wins the last game. Beautiful thing. Fucking incredible game. I cried watching it. It was that beautiful. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about here, right? And what LeBron and Kyrie had to do, because the Warriors team was much better, they had to just stay locked in. They had to stay in a very, very, very specific zone of being locked in. And then that's what allowed them to win, okay? So that's what I'm saying is have a spiritual foundation. Don't depend on external things, but have a methodology that you can stack wins. And also have losses that you then fight through and stack more wins. You guys remember that 6 steps method that I would talk about like in a club where it's like approach all, minimize time between interactions, 1,000 out of 10, find something funny about it, who the fuck would have the balls to do that, and then keep minimizing time. You're doing that to stack small wins. You actually control your focus so that you feel like you're winning because you control your own criteria for success. You've got to actively control your own view of a win so that you are stacking wins. I've explained this in other videos extensively, okay? But I'm just mentioning it briefly here. Once you understand this, your potential is going to be so much higher than you realize, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up different people and we're going to put you through transformation work, okay? And what I want you to observe is as people are up here doing the public speaking, I want you to observe when their winner effect just kicks on. When you see them kind of break through, okay? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for them to break through. It's similar to when someone's breakdancing, right? And they're kind of tense, and they're kind of just doing what the audience wants, and then suddenly they just don't care anymore. And they do what's called losing themselves. Say lose yourself. Lose yourself. Okay, and that's what Eminem talks about, right? Lose yourself in the moment, right? That's the idea. You lose yourself. When you're up here, okay, the beta is always going for approval. The beta is always stuck in their head, monitoring for how other people are perceiving them. The beta lives in their own mind, micromanaging their behavior all the time. The quote-unquote alpha lives outside their head and barely thinks at all. That's why even things like dance or joking or imitations, humor, all of that is actually attractive because you can only do that when you're out of your head. And so when a woman sees that, she says, oh, okay, he's out of his head. He lives outside his head. That means he gets laid. That means women like him, okay? Guys that women like live outside their head. Guys who feel like they have to compensate become scientists and nerds. By the way, a lot of guys think, if I made a lot of money, girls would like me. If all that you think is that you're not enough now, if you just feel like you're not enough, and then you go become a nerd for 10 years, get even deeper in your head, at the end of that, you'll come out of it with more money and even creepier than 10 years ago because you spent a decade trapped inside your head thinking that you're not good enough and thinking you have to compensate. That's why I actually say that even though if I was a woman, I'd want to date an entrepreneur, that's not who normally has success in dating. You don't need to do that to have success in dating. You just need to get out of your head. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to show you, here's the key to all of it. I'm trying to show you how to get out of your head now without winning. But if you can get out of your head now without winning, then what's going to wind up happening is now you can start winning. You see what's going on here? So why are most of us stuck? Why are we stuck? Because our brain is shut down. If our brain is shut down, we can't win. It's an entrenchment. It's why guys self-delete. Right? You lose your business, you lose your wife, you lose your kids, you self-delete because you can't break out of it. You're like, oh, I can't break out of it. Those guys that commit suicide, I've had relatives that commit suicide and friends that commit suicide. People that self-delete, they do that because they can't break out of this pattern. There's other reasons too. It could be a fucking demon, to be honest with you. But they can't break out of the fucking pattern, right? So what happens is that when you're kicked down like that, you can't break out of the pattern. You don't know your way out. You can't get back in your swag and in momentum. So what I'm trying to show you how to do here is how to achieve liftoff, how to achieve momentum. And then as you achieve momentum, you want to build on that momentum. Build. Massive momentum. But then what you do is at times, you'll be kicked back down, and that's when you go back to spiritual training. And you go, wait, I'm not the body, I'm a soul. I don't get my winner effect just from wins. Then you kickstart it again, and then boom, you go back up. Win. Do you guys remember back in the day with my old company, how much we dominated that industry? Do you guys remember? Yeah. Dominant. Now, I kind of went away for like 5 years, right? I didn't, push it. But that was the secret with how we did what we did. When you know that, nobody, you just look supernatural. Like nobody can compete. They're like, how do they keep doing this? It's crazy. How do they operate that level? But I'm showing you all the secrets here. You're getting the secrets. You're getting the secrets, that godlike charisma. You're getting the secrets, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you a crutch by helping you here and by letting you lead. But then what I'm gonna do is then I've gotta get you leading on your own. So for example, I might go, with you, and you'll do it with me, you'll have permission. But then I'm gonna stop, and then you've gotta do it on your own. Or I'll go around with you, getting you public speaking, but then I'll stop, and you've gotta do it on your own. Here's the funny thing though, right? Why is it that I know how to be a public speaker? In truth, it's only because I have audiences to practice on. Key piece here. Key piece. Do any of you guys even have audiences to practice on? It's a sport that you can't get good at because you don't have an audience to practice on. Look, in truth, you go out to a bar or club and chat everybody. It's a similar effect, actually. Very similar. So if I'm getting practice leading all the time and you're not, what is happening to me and my winner effect relative to yours if I'm getting the opportunity to lead all the time? What's that doing for me? Yeah, so in other words, you should covet the chance to lead. You should covet that.
But that's why it's so great about social media. That's what I do. I just jump on. I just ramble on Instagram like a bunch of people listening and give a fuck. They're probably not, but in my psychology, it makes me feel like I'm a leader teaching people. It's just repetitive.
Yeah.
You do it every day.
It's 100% what it does.
And then I just jump on somewhere and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the expert in this.
Yeah, because you're getting practice. And so what's happening is act as if. And the other thing I'd say is this. Once you have an opportunity to lead here, find pockets where you can lead. But the thing is, people are not going to want to let you lead, right? They're not going to want to let you lead. Like in here, if I bring you to the front, it's kind of an artificially propped up environment where you're getting the chance to be a leader. So when you come up here and you're having the chance to lead and you've got a group of people that are listening to you, take that shit in. Like, take the opportunity. Win at that opportunity. But then what you do is go out to a bar or club and practice out there. Then what you do is go into different environments at work and practice there. Go into local forums and groups and practice there. But don't be hung on to it like you're like a power tripper, like those lair leaders, okay? Don't power trip. Don't be stuck on it. Then go do meditation. Then go into nature. But just constantly get used to being in your own frame and taking on the characteristics and taking on the brain chemistry, okay? So Ibrahim and I are going to be bringing up the guys that took the training last night. and we're going to put you through the ringer, okay? And again, what we're looking for here is we're looking for when the person loses themselves, okay? And what I want you to do is once you see the person at the front lose themselves and stop playing beta and stop worrying what everybody thinks, and they let go and they go in their leadership, clap for them and cheer them on, okay? And do you see how when I'm up here doing free association like yesterday and today, I'm losing myself in it? How much thinking am I doing when I'm up here? Zero. No thinking. A great dancer, what are they doing? No thinking. Great at football, basketball, what are they doing? No thinking. Skiing, no thinking. Meditation, no thinking. It's just purely going off awareness because you're not constantly adjusting to the people that you're trying to get approval from. So you're not burning mental bandwidth inside your head. Now, what's funny is, by the way, as I'm out of my head, I can look at all of you and I can see how much you're paying attention. Do you see how I'm continually looking at all of you? I'm looking dead in your eye to make sure that you're paying attention. So there's always a tension here that you can't go to sleep or look at your phone, right? Because if you look at your phone for even a second, I'm going to go, hey, and you're going to feel that pressure, right? Just like when you're sweating, right? You're going to feel that pressure. So I'm holding tension. But as I'm holding tension and everyone's giving me attention, here's the truth. I'm now feeding off your guys' validation. You guys, it's a loop. I come in here and I just come in, bam, I start going, right? But as you guys are laughing at my jokes and paying attention to me, what's that doing to my brain chemistry? I'm actually being propped up by you guys. But what are the things that allow me to be propped up by you guys? That I'm here to serve you, and that I'm not, here's the thing. If I go in my head, that means I'm trying to get something out of you. Follow this, okay? If I go in my head, I'm trying to get something out of you. So as soon as I go in my head, you know what you say? This is not about me, and this is not about us. This is Owen trying to get something for him. He's trying to take. What am I trying to take? Your validation. I'm analyzing how to take your validation. But if I am the dispenser of validation, and if I'm out of my head because I'm not focused on me and what I need, but I'm out of my head to serve you, then my thoughts are going to be very, very clear, and they're going to flow nicely because I'm just giving to you what's in my mind. So it's almost like I know all this stuff. It's all in my head, and then I go into sort of a dream state, and you know how when you're in a dream state, your mind just creates all these images and scenarios. Your mind does it for you without you trying. When you're up here doing this, you're actually in a dream state. I'm in a third-ish dream state right now. I'm not actually awake in the way that you'd think right now, but here's the thing, I'm actually more awake. That makes sense? So I'm not awake in the sense of like, I'm in my head going, oh, here's what I'm gonna say, here's what I'm gonna say. I'm in a dream state where my mind is generating the speech for me. It's generating the pitch, the tone, the movements, the energy. It's generating all of it for me. I'm not thinking at all how to give you the speech. I'm like, as I'm up here, by the way, it's really freaky, to be honest with you. I'm like, how am I doing this? Like, this is really weird shit, okay? It gets even weirder when you got to the club and you're just like doing all this stuff. You know, you're like balding ginger, like crushing it. You're like, how am I doing this? Like, this is crazy. You know, running off home with someone. You're like, oh, how'd this happen? How'd you get here? And what's happening is your brain's doing it for you, but the thing that's giving the flow, here's how it works, right? I come in here, you know the hose, how if there's no pressure, you've got to kind of suck the hose, you go like that, and then it just starts shooting out on its own? I've got to kickstart the audience by coming in here, guns blazing, owning my space. By the way, what I do, watch what I do. I come in here, and I might come in here and go, okay? I do that, right? That is going to tell my brain it's safe. Then my brain unlocks. Then I take on the physiology without necessarily knowing that I have the approval. Now, by the way, this is a group where I have approval, but I do speeches where I don't have approval, and I do this out where no one knows me in bars and clubs. So then I take that on. You guys then start validating me, because that kickstarts you to validate me. And then what happens, my brain comes and goes, boom! That's why public speaking is so fucking addictive. That's why going out is so fucking addictive. You get out of your head, you stop monitoring yourself. People often can only get a taste of this from doing magic mushrooms or ayahuasca or LSD. They don't understand how to get there sober. So they wind up using hallucinogens. But the problem is, guys, look, I'll be real with you. I could pull out my phone on any given day and show you audio WhatsApp messages from people that do all these hallucinogens that are out of their fucking mind. Most people do have a generally positive experience with psychedelics, but a lot don't, and you don't know which one you're gonna be. You don't know which one you're gonna be. You could have a great experience. It helps you. You also wind up crazy, batshit crazy, out of your fucking mind. I've lost business partners to this shit. I've lost girlfriends to this shit. I've lost friends to this shit. They go do a bunch of, they start tripping on this or that, the other thing. Next thing you know, you don't recognize them anymore. They're crying all the time. I can pull out a thing right now, a dude that saw a ghost this morning. One of my clients, he did a bunch of psychedelics and I seen ghosts. So in my mind, I'm like, look, I get it that you want to experience the lateral thinking, experiencing your divine nature, getting out of your head, connecting to nature, seeing things from not just through the veil of your mind, but outside in a very vivid way. I get that, right? You have that. You have that. No need to see a machine elf to get permission, okay? Look, we all want to see the machine elves, okay? I'm a little jealous that I haven't met a machine elf. But, I got a 6-year-old kid named Tristan that's not that unlike a machine elf. Is he outside or they took him to the arcade? Yeah, the arcade. He's at the arcade, yeah. Well, that would have been a funny way to wrap this. But the point is, look, I've got Tristan, he's the closest thing to a machine elf as I need, okay? So the point that I'm making here is like, this is my 6-year-old son, he's crazy. He's literally, you want to meet a kid that lives completely outside his head? That kid lives 100% outside his head. I never had a normal conversation with him. He just clowns me. It's hilarious. He dances, he clowns me. He laughs all day. It's crazy. So we do these like aggressive things. Like for people who can't break out, something like a psychedelic allows them to break out. I get that. But what I'm trying to reveal to you here is that there's other ways of breaking out and achieving that. But because you have to work for it, it's not a chemical or a plant just dragging you there, kicking and screaming. You can achieve that. It's not going to be this visuals and stuff, although you will see things more vividly. You'll experience subtle energies that you couldn't experience. Why? Because you're not trapped in your head. You'll experience the spiritual energy coming off of someone. You'll be able to read them. You'll be able to read their thoughts. Not because you're fucking psychic, but because you're out of your fucking head. So you'll read their fucking thoughts because you'll know what they're thinking because you're not stuck in your own thoughts. A lot of good things will happen.
That is actually the psychic instinct.
Everyone is a little bit psychic if they can get out of their dense, logical mind and heavy ass ego. Okay? So, point being, you kickstart it, and as you win, it goes up from there, but you still have to know how to kickstart it from the jump, okay? So, like I said, we'll bring everybody up. I'll get Ibrahim to help me. And as we do this, we'll cheer on people when they lose themselves, okay? Give a hand to the guys about to go up. Guys, it's going to be fucking awesome, okay?